Hello everybody, my name is Leon Bangila. I'm a journalist here in Johannesburg, in South Africa. Today in my show I will receive a small boy, the student from UJ. UJ is the University of Johannesburg here in South Africa. I will talk with him about a very important topic, but very soon you will know what it's about. Follow. Hello, Tim.
Hello, Mr. Leon, and thank you so much for having me on your show today.
I hope you're doing well and everything is fine on your side. Even we are in lockdown time, but what do you study in the university?
Well, my name is Tim B, and I am a student at the University of Johannesburg. I am currently doing my second year in logistics, and I'm going to finish my degree next year.
Okay.
You know, it's been very interesting doing logistics, and hopefully I'll get the marks that I want at the end of my graduation.
So what is logistics all about?
Oh, okay. Well, logistics deals with supply chain management, to be specific, the import and export of goods and services to different facilities around the world. You know, logistics is very vast. Many companies, actually all companies, cannot operate without logistics because they need their goods to be transported from point A to point B. So we deal with procurement, we deal with warehousing, we deal with contracts, we deal with the import and exports in the industry as it is vast, you know, because logistics is very interesting. It deals with different aspects. It deals with the contractual law of businesses as well. It deals with business management. It deals with accounting as well. It deals with purchasing, you know, because companies need purchases for their products to be made, may it be overseas, may it be locally. So logistics is very vast. It deals mainly with import and export of goods and services from point A to point B, and of course to satisfy all customers' needs and wants, and to meet the customer's expectation as well. So that's basically what logistics is about.
When I look at you, I see you look like a pilot or a doctor, but you choose to do logistics. Why?
Well, I get that a lot. I really do get that a lot. But you know, in the society that which we are living in, there are many careers that one can pursue, because you know, most people are clinged and you know, are just informed about the common careers, which are, you know, being a lawyer, being a doctor, being a pilot, you know, being an engineer, and you know, they're not really informed about other careers that fall within that whole spectrum. So logistics is something that is vast. You know, you can work in any company once you have done logistics, because in logistics you learn many different skills. May it be in software implementation, may it be in accounting management, may it be in business management, may it be in mathematics as well. So you know, in logistics there are many things that you can do. You are not only limited to one career, but it is vast, it is open, and it is wide. You know, it is a point of entry that is big. No, you're not limited to one company. You know, every single company needs logistics. So once you have done logistics, you are able to work anyway, if I can say that. So yeah, that's exactly why I decided to do logistics in the first place.
Tim, today we will talk about the climate change. So I want to know, does it tell you something?
Climate change is a very sensitive topic, you know, that most people aren't really ready to talk about. It's not a conversation that we're ready to have, but it is a conversation that needs to be had, because you know, most of the time we overlook climate change, you know, because we think that it doesn't affect us directly, but in actual terms it really does affect each and every one of us. You know, climate change is an aspect that is controlling and, you know, destroying many things in the world at this moment in time that which we are living in. Firstly, the ozone layer has been depleted due to climate change. Global warming takes place due to climate change. The emission of greenhouse gases as well plays a key role in climate change, and you know, these affect all of us, even though we aren't affected directly, but we are affected indirectly, and that is something that most people don't really understand. You know, it is something that most people don't really take into consideration, for the fact that they see that, okay, I'm still alive and it hasn't affected me then they do not take it as a serious issue. But it's something that we need to talk about. It is a conversation that needs to be had, it needs to be addressed, and solutions need to be found, and it's only that way that we are going to be able to tackle this problem and find a solution for it before it gets worse, if I can say that.
One of your schoolmates told me to ask you this question. Let me read it exactly. He said, what can be the base of climate change in the road? And the small question is it beneficial for the road, or is destroying the road?
Wow, that's a very good question, Mr. Leon. The base of climate change is human impacts on the world. You know, it's something that most people do not know, but it is actually happening. You know, us as human beings play a key role in the climate change. Firstly, by the amount of carbon dioxide that we emit into the atmosphere. Each human's carbon footprint needs to be double checked. Each human needs to see how much carbon dioxide we are emitting into the atmosphere. And this carbon dioxide is emitted through, for instance, cars. The fuel that cars emit into the atmosphere causes carbon dioxide. Human impact as well, such as deforestation. The cutting down of trees in the forests increases the carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, because the less trees there are to absorb the carbon dioxide and turn it into oxygen, the more carbon dioxide there is. So climate change is brought about by human impacts, you know, and definitely it is not a good thing. It is not a good thing. The climate is changing. The globe is warming, if I can say that, because global warming is a very big issue that is linked to climate change. And once the globe is warming, we are having higher temperatures than usual, and these higher temperatures cause the melting of the glaciers, you know, which increases floods as well, because once the glaciers melt, all the water gets taken down into the oceans and increases the water levels. So the water levels bring about floods. So these are all negative impacts that come with climate change. And you know, since humans are releasing carbon dioxide into the atmosphere, the greenhouse gases released pollutes the air. Air pollutants, methane in the rice paddies in the farms, methane from animal ruins, from animal remains, are also an addition that add to the emission of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. And this increases the levels at which the earth is polluted. And once the earth is polluted, the ozone layer is depleted. Once the ozone layer is depleted, we receive direct sun rays, and these ultraviolet rays that is coming from the sun that cannot be blocked by the ozone layer brings form cataracts, brings skin cancer, and these are certain things that people are not aware of, and people need to be taught about it in order for us to decrease our carbon emissions and decrease climate change as well. So this is not something that is good. It is something that needs to be sorted out. It is something that needs to be taught to human beings so we know how to avoid it and how to decrease the effects and the impacts of climate change on our lives as well. So generally, climate change is brought about by human impacts, human doings that increase the emission of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere, and thus increasing the effect and the impact of climate change on the earth as well.
Wow, okay, you speak very nice, you speak very well. But I want to ask you something according to the COVID-19. You know, actually, we got that sickness called COVID-19. It's spreading around all the world. But now I want to know, do you have something to say about the climate change according to COVID? And does it have any impact on the climate change? If yes, how so?
That's a very good question. I was waiting for this question specifically, but all I can say is that during this period that which we are facing of COVID-19, as much as it might have a negative impact on us humans who are confined in our houses, and it's having a negative impact on the economy as well. The rands are becoming weak, the currencies are becoming weak, jobs are being lost. But if we have to look deeply behind this virus, it has a few positive impacts on the climate as well. For the fact that human beings are staying at home, it is decreasing our carbon footprint. You know, there aren't many cars that are driving on the roads, which decreases the amount of carbon dioxide emitted as well into the atmosphere. There is not fossil fuels that are being burnt in the factories that is increasing the carbon dioxide, you know, because people are at home. So this creates a greener earth as well. And for the fact that humans are staying within their houses as well, this decreases the amount of deforestation that takes place. It gives the trees time to grow. It gives the forests time to grow in order for all the carbon dioxide to be swallowed, if I can say, by the leaves and the trees, which is going to increase oxygen and decrease the amount of carbon dioxide. So if we have to look deeply into this pandemic, there is a few positive impacts that it has, because if humans are not on the streets emitting carbon dioxide, we're at home, you know, there is less cars, there are less trains, there are less trucks on the road. This increases, you know, the amount of oxygen that is circulating in the earth, and it is in turn creating a greener earth for us to live in, you know, because there are less emissions, there are less carbon footprints of each and every human being, and this is a very good thing. You know, as we can see, you know, the trees are getting greener, the streets are cleaner, there is not much pollution happening, and it is a very good thing if we have to think of it. Yeah, it really is a very good thing.
Thank you very much. Do you know that the United Nations is promoting dignity, equality, and peace for the earth of the world? I want to ask you something. If you were the president, I don't know, the GO of United Nations, what can you tell the world about COVID-19 and about the climate change?
Well, it would be a very good opportunity if I had to be the head of the United Nations Union. But one thing that I would tell the world is change starts with you. As much as you might think that this climate change won't affect you directly, but in the long run it is going to affect you eventually. So what you can do, the least you can do, is start changing from yourself. A few aspects that we can take into consideration is taking public transport instead of driving your own car. That decreases the amount of carbon dioxide you emit into the atmosphere. So change starts with you. Double check how much carbon dioxide you're emitting into the atmosphere, because when one person does it, it can become 10, it can become 100, 1,000, and then 1,000,000. And once we all understand that it is our duty to take care of our atmosphere, it is only then that we are going to win this and overcome this climate change.
Thank you very much, Tim. Do you have any word to advise everyone who is watching you now? Because I know a lot of people will watch you, and we have something from you. Do you have something you can tell them about COVID and the climate change? Look them in the eyes and tell them straight.
Well, one thing I can tell the people is to stay hopeful. You know, as much as this might seem hard for us at this moment in time, but it is going to pass. Let us not lose hope. Let us keep our faith in Christ, and definitely we are going to come out of this victorious. Let us not forget the bigger picture after this. Let us not forget the amount of things that are going to change after this, because you know this is for the better. Let us not lose hope, but let us stay rooted in our utmost joy that is going to fill the whole world at the end of this. And let's also remember that we as humans impact the earth positively and negatively. Where we impact negatively, let us change in order for us to save this earth. This is our home and we live in it, and the only way that it can be saved is if we as individuals take a decisions and unite as the whole world in order for us to battle this virus and in order for us to battle climate change. I hope that you have heard what I said, and I hope that it was effective, and I hope that you are going to take into your own hands matters that need to be sorted out so that climate change and this virus can be battled and the victory can be ours. Thank you so much.
It was my pleasure to have you in my show. Maybe next time I will come again with another topic. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you for having me on this great show that has so many viewers. It is a very big pleasure of me to be here. I hope it is not the last time. Hopefully next time we will come and speak about different issues as well. But thank you so much for having me today.
Thank you very much to everyone who was watching this small time of interview with this small boy from university. You know, sometimes we have to go to this young boy because they are studying at school. They have to know also to advise people about that sickness, and precisely about the climate change. As you can notice, this young boy knows very well about climate change. And see you next time in another show with another topic. Thank you very much. God bless. Bye-bye.